Okay, real quick. Before we get into this, I need you to understand something. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not something some guy made up on Reddit at 3 a.m. This is a fully confirmed, government-admitted, Congress-investigated program that actually happened. The US government ran secret mind control experiments on its own citizens for 20 years, without their knowledge or consent. And when they got caught, they destroyed almost all the evidence. The program was called MKUltra. And it is somehow one of the most insane true stories you will ever hear. So let's go back to 1953. The Cold War is in full swing. The US and Soviet Union are locked in this paranoid arms race, and not just for weapons. Both sides genuinely believed that whoever could control the human mind would win the war.
The Soviets were allegedly brainwashing American prisoners of war in Korea. Soldiers were coming back confessing to war crimes they didn't commit. Some refused to even return home. The CIA was terrified. So on April 13, 1953, 3 days after CIA Director Allen Dulles gave a speech about protecting American values, he secretly approved a program called MKUltra. The goal: find a way to control the human mind before the Soviets did. What followed was 20 years of some of the most disturbing experiments ever conducted in American history. And most of the people being experimented on had absolutely no idea. So what exactly were they doing? The short answer: everything. LSD, hypnosis, electroshock therapy, sleep deprivation, sensory deprivation, psychological torture. They basically threw every possible method at the wall to see what would break a person down enough to make them controllable. The program had over 150 separate subprojects. It ran through at least 80 institutions, universities, hospitals, prisons, and even a children's school for intellectually disabled kids. The CIA funded all of it through fake foundations and front organizations so nobody could trace it back to them. One of the most disturbing subprojects was called Operation Midnight Climax. And yes, that is the real name. The CIA set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York, literally rented apartments, where they paid sex workers to lure men in off the street. Those men were then secretly dosed with LSD while CIA operatives watched from behind one-way mirrors and took notes. These people had no idea what was happening to them. They just thought they were having a normal night. Then they started hallucinating. Some had complete psychological breakdowns. Some had to be hospitalized. Nobody ever told them what had been done to them. Then there was Frank Olson, an army biochemist who worked with the CIA. In November 1953, Olson attended a CIA retreat. His drink was secretly spiked with LSD without his knowledge. He immediately had a severe mental breakdown. 9 days later, he fell from a 10th floor window in New York City. The CIA called it a suicide. His family called it murder. In 1994, his body was exhumed. Forensic analysis found evidence of blunt force trauma to his head before the fall. The case was never prosecuted. Nobody was ever charged. And Frank Olson was not some random civilian. He was a CIA contractor. If they were willing to do this to one of their own people, what were they doing to everyone else? Here's the part that should genuinely make you angry. The CIA didn't just experiment on random adults. They specifically targeted people who couldn't fight back. People who had no power, no voice, no way to say no. Mental patients, prisoners, drug addicts, people in hospitals who thought they were getting medical treatment, intellectually disabled children at a state school, soldiers who were told they were participating in research to help the war effort. Congressional investigations later revealed that up to 500,000 Americans may have been unknowingly subjected to CIA and military experiments between 1940 and 1974. 500,000 people. One of the most notorious doctors involved was a man named Dr. Ewan Cameron. He ran a psychiatric hospital in Montreal, Canada, yes, Canada, and received CIA funding to conduct experiments that went even further than what was happening in the US. Cameron believed he could wipe a person's mind completely clean and then reprogram them from scratch. His method: put patients into drug-induced sleep for weeks or months at a time, then play recorded messages on loop for hours, sometimes the same phrase repeated 500,000 times. This was called psychic driving. He also used massive electroshock therapy, at doses 30 to 40 times the normal level, to try to erase memories. Patients came out unable to remember their own names, their families' basic life skills. Some permanently lost the ability to function as adults. They were never the same. These were people who had checked into a psychiatric hospital for depression or anxiety. They came out with their minds destroyed, and the CIA funded every dollar of it. So how did this go on for 20 years without anyone knowing? Because the CIA was very, very good at hiding it. The program was funded through a network of fake charities and shell foundations. Researchers at universities thought they were receiving legitimate government grants for behavioral science research. Most had no idea who was actually paying them or why. And when things started to unravel, when journalist Seymour Hersh began investigating CIA domestic operations in 1974, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of all MKUltra files. Thousands of documents were shredded. The paper trail was almost completely eliminated. Almost, because someone forgot about a box of financial records stored in a CIA archive in Maryland. Those records survived. And when they were discovered in 1977 during a Freedom of Information Act request, they blew the whole thing open. Senate hearings were held. The Church Committee investigated. CIA officials were called to testify. And what came out was worse than anyone had imagined. But here's the part that should make you genuinely uncomfortable. Nobody went to prison. Sidney Gottlieb, the CIA chemist who ran MKUltra for years, who approved the experiments, who ordered the document destruction, retired quietly. He was never criminally charged. He died in 1999. The victims received almost no compensation. Some families were paid small settlements and told to stay quiet. Many never even found out what had been done to them or their loved ones. Now here's the thing that should really keep you up at night. The official story is that MKUltra ended in 1973. But the CIA also said MKUltra didn't exist until they got caught. So how much do you trust their word that it's actually over? In 2026, literally right now, Congress announced new hearings into MKUltra. New documents are being declassified. Researchers are still finding records that were supposed to have been destroyed. And the broader question isn't just about MKUltra specifically. It's about what it tells us about how institutions actually behave when nobody is watching. The CIA didn't do this because everyone involved was a cartoon villain. They did it because they genuinely believed the ends justified the means. Because the oversight wasn't there. Because the people being experimented on had no power to stop it. MKUltra didn't happen because the government was uniquely evil in the 1950s. It happened because when powerful institutions operate in total secrecy, with no accountability, they eventually start doing things that nobody would ever approve of in public. The conspiracy theorists were right about this one. And that's what makes it so unsettling. Drop a comment. What part of MKUltra messed you up the most? And if you want a full deep dive on Operation Midnight Climax or DR, Ewan Cameron specifically, let me know. Because honestly, there's enough material there for a whole separate video.